everybody's heard about Robinhood, the trading platform.
Yeah.
Just a fascinating statistic there that they got to 4 million users in 5 years.
Wow.
It took E-Trade 35 years to get to that number. And just in 2020, I think it was mid 2020, they actually exceeded Schwab in the number of trades, right? So, and why do I bring that up? I bring that up because if you look at how they did it, this was about obviously a product that people like. I don't use the product, but it was a product that people must like. But it was all about data and all about kind of thinking differently in the retail trading market. And they were selling into a market that had a lot of tailwind, right? There was a lot of movement towards retail investors. And as I think about how I translate that into the pharmacy business, you're right. We've got to work together in some ways. It doesn't mean you're giving up independence, but if there are things that you can do that are that you can't get independently, think about the data. This is all about data. The reason that Amazon literally just in June of this year exceeded Walmart in retail sales and are now literally not just e-commerce, but the biggest retailer in the world. They did it because they understood their customers better. They understood trends. They could leverage data in a way that others couldn't. So for me, when I look at the technology and frankly, what we can deliver as RedSail, it's the tools, but it's also the data and how that data translates into innovation as our market moves. That to me is a transformation of independent pharmacy. It's no longer independent pharmacy. Whatever the new name is, it's something different, but it has all the attributes and all the principles of independent pharmacy are still there, right? That persists.
I would agree. I think they have to get bigger or go home. But the person who's going to make them get bigger has to bring value to them that they don't get today. So a lot of people have made a lot of money off retail independent pharmacists by getting people together and then keeping all the money, collecting the data and then keeping all the money, or you name it. There's all kinds of things as you go through that have happened through the years. So there's a lot of cautious optimism out there. I think a lot of independents believe they have to band together. And as you talk together, we have a 4,000 group here, 4,000. 10 years ago, we had no big group. So at least they are starting to. But I do agree with you. I think you need a 10, 15,000 store group. But that group has to provide value to its members and to the stores, or else it won't work. And that's the one thing that people have to keep in mind as they try to build a group is, if I'm I'm independent for a reason. I'm a good business person. I know how to take care of my patients. Why should I join your group? What value is there for me that doesn't exist today? And I could not get that myself. If that happens, I think you'll see a lot of people flood to a group.
Jeff, I keep thinking a lot of the work that we're doing now is trying to figure out how to take 10,000 stores and help those 10,000 locations practice clinical pharmacy better, almost make it impossible not to practice clinical pharmacy better. And I think we're making some tremendous progress because then the drug companies will start bringing money back in and the payers will start bringing money back in. As I'm listening, one of the themes also, if you say, hey, I'm an independent pharmacy, what I love about that is I'm an entrepreneur. I control my own destiny. I can provide the service the way I want, but I'm getting beat up because I'm not large. I'm also getting beat up because the system's stacked because it knows the independents can't talk at scale.
Right.
And one of the themes keeps rattling through my brain is how do we give them a voice technologically at scale, right? And so that they can communicate real time at scale on really important things. And I haven't seen that solution out there, but so in my brain, I keep seeing these kind of network pipes that we add value. One's clinical, that we can totally change the way the different constituency groups view the independents, and we make it really easy to practice clinical services. But the other is we got to figure out how to kind of open up their voice more rapidly. And I think technology is the platform is just built to do it. And we just have to figure out how to harness it. It's kind of like, it's not a well-formed thought in my brain yet. I see the picture. But that's one thing that all the groups can trust, that the independents can't talk as one right now.
Right.
And doing it once a year at NCPA isn't enough. They've got to be able to do it real time as they're running their business.
Well, and if you did it with one pharmacy software vendor, you solve most of those problems. I mean, medical billing is a perfect example. Caterpillar employees can go get a flu shot at CVS. They can't go to an independent. I was at Cardinal Health. We could go get a flu shot at CVS. We couldn't go to independents. Why? Because nobody negotiated with the payer for the independents.
Right.
And why they didn't is because the payer wanted one billing.
Yeah, it's hard to
They wanted one place to send stuff. They wanted one place to get. Well, you have all that. So you could start negotiating on behalf of all your members and say, we'll bill as one, however you want us to. We'll look like a chain.
Yep.
CVS sends me all these claims because I'm Caterpillar. Well, Pioneer will send all of its independents claims to Caterpillar. So if you did it as a software vendor, you solve all those problems. You don't have to worry about the 20 different retail independent software vendors all trying to get one standard. You just do it yourself.
Yeah, this is just like Shopify. I don't know if you guys know much about Shopify, but we're much like that. We enable small businesses to be successful because we're doing that work, right? You've got to.
Right.
It's much easier for us to go work on some of those integrations and integrations with the payment systems, or in Shopify's case, there's a bunch of different ways you can get paid. The transaction systems and the credit cards and we have the tooling, we have the expertise that you just simply can't get. If I were to go and try to build a website on my own, a commerce website, I just couldn't do it as well as I could do it with some of these third-party tools.
Yep.
So yeah, I like that comment. I think that's a really important part of the future.
Yeah, I think the thing that you need to realize, it's funny being at Renlar, like Pioneer, and then going to Cardinal. The footprint you have in a pharmacy is so deep that you may not even understand it. When I was at Cardinal, I kept telling people, we have like a light footprint in a pharmacy. They're like, what are you talking about? We sell all their inventory. We're there every day. I'm like, yeah, but if our truck didn't show up, they would go get their drugs somewhere else. They'd go down the street. If their pharmacy system's down, they shut the door and turn the lights off.
Right.
So, I mean, it is so deep. You're in everything that they do. You can enable the future of retail independent pharmacy that group you're talking about banding together. You have all the wiring and all the plumbing to do that. You've just got to become a sales force for that group to the people who have money to pay them for services.